Our journey continues here in Jerusalem with a search for the Ark of the Covenant. Legends have placed the Ark in faraway places like Ethiopia or Ireland, but CBN's Chris Mitchell spoke with one researcher who believes the Ark might be a lot closer than people think.
Imagine a box said to carry the very essence of God's commandments, a staff that once blossomed miraculously, and the heavenly sustenance of manna, all nestled within a design adorned with angelic beings. The legendary Ark of the Covenant, the enigmatic chest built to hold sacred relics, has captivated imaginations for centuries, weaving a tapestry of intrigue, power, and divine connection. The Ark of the Covenant is first mentioned in the Old Testament, which is the most important book in Judaism and a big part of the Christian Bible. There is a story about the Ark in the books of Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. It mostly took place when Moses led the Israelites through the desert after they left Egypt. From what the Bible says, God told Moses to build the Ark as a physical sign of his presence among the people.
Well, the Ark of the Covenant is fascinating because it's the most important ritual object that Judaism has ever had.
The Ark wasn't just a pretty box. It represented a holy promise between God and the Israelites. Its appearance served as a reminder of God's direction and safety, as well as the moral and social rules that are summed up in the Ten Commandments. According to God's directions to Moses, building the Ark of the Covenant was a very careful process. It was said that the Ark would be made of acacia wood and have pure gold covering it all the way around. It was 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high, which is about 3.75 feet by 2.25 feet by 2.25 feet. The Ark's lid, which was called the mercy seat, was also made of pure gold and had 2 cherubim facing each other with their wings spread out. The care that went into building it and the specific materials that were used made it stand out as holy and stress how important the stone tablets with the 10 Commandments were that they held. For the Israelites, the Ark of the Covenant was an important and treasured part of their religious events and practices. It was kept in the deepest chamber of the tabernacle, which was a movable holy building that God told people to build. The Ark was a sign of where God lived and how people could reach him. As the Israelites went through the desert, priests carried the Ark in front of them. It was very important in important moments, like when the Israelites crossed the Jordan River and the water magically split to let them go. The Ark was also very important in taking over Jericho. It was there before the city fell. The tablets of the 10 Commandments were the most important and treasured thing in the Ark of the Covenant. According to Old Testament legends, when Moses met God on Mount Sinai, God wrote on these stone tablets and gave them to him. The commandments, which were moral and social rules, were the most important part of the agreement between God and the Israelites. They were called the Mosaic Law. Putting the tablets inside the Ark made it clear that they came from God and that the bond was holy. So the Ark became a symbol of God's laws, showing that he was present and that people were determined to follow his rules. There was also Aaron's stick in the Ark. It is also called the staff or stick of Aaron. From what the book of Numbers in the Old Testament says, God picked Aaron, Moses' brother, to be the first high priest of the Israelites. Each tribe leader gave Aaron a staff to show that he was a legitimate priest. Aaron's staff suddenly bloomed with almond flowers, which showed that God had chosen him. This amazing change made Aaron's position as high priest even stronger, and his rod was then put inside the Ark. Including Aaron's rod was a constant reminder of how God confirmed the priesthood's power and how important it was for the Israelites to have leaders who were divinely appointed. A jar of manna was kept in the Ark of the Covenant. Manna was a magical food that kept the Israelites alive as they traveled through the desert. The ancient story in the book of Exodus says that manna fell from the sky every day to feed the Israelites as they wandered. God told Moses to gather an omer, a certain amount of manna every day. On the 6th day, they gathered twice as much to last them until the Sabbath. During the difficult times, the jar of manna that was contained inside the Ark was a symbol of God's care and sustenance. Not only did God teach the Israelites what was right and wrong via the 10 Commandments, but he also provided for their bodily necessities in a manner that was both miraculous and extraordinary. This made the lesson more compelling. When it came to the religious life of the ancient Israelites, the Ark of the Covenant had a very significant place. For the first time, it was stored in the tabernacle, which was a portable shrine that was constructed in accordance with the directives of God. In the most profound room, which was referred to as the Holy of Holies, the Ark was located, and the tabernacle was thought to be a sacred location where God resided. In order to create an atmosphere that was even more sacred, this inner area was divided from the rest of the Ark's dwelling by a screen. The location of the Ark inside the tabernacle demonstrated how near God was to the people and how he intended to collaborate with them in their daily lives. When they were in the vicinity of the tabernacle, the Israelites would pray and seek for guidance. Their religious activities revolved on the Ark as their focal point. During their journey across the desert, the Israelites brought the Ark of the Covenant along with them. As they traveled from one location to another, priests carried the Ark with them, which served as a guide for them. After receiving instructions from God, the Ark relocated. After the cloud of God's presence lifted, which was a sign that it was time to go, the Israelites would follow, with the Ark serving as the leader of the way. God's involvement in the Israelites' day-to-day existence was shown by the fact that this movable shelter was a sign. In addition to serving as a constant reminder of the promise that God made with his chosen people, the presence of the Ark had the significance of providing spiritual guidance and protection. The fact that the Ark of the Covenant seems to have disappeared from the annals of history is one of the most fascinating aspects of this object. It is in the second book of Chronicles that the Ark is referenced for the very last time in the Bible. This book states that it was placed in the Temple of Solomon. However, the Bible does not provide any more details on what transpired with it. This void in history has resulted in a mystery and controversy that has lasted for hundreds of years. The disappearance of the Ark is particularly significant due to the fact that it was the one and only time that it was referenced in the religious and historical narratives of the Israelites. As a result of the fact that we do not know for certain what happened to it, there are a number of hypotheses and assumptions about where it may be or what might have occurred. Over the course of thousands of years, several concepts and hypotheses have been proposed about the possible location of the Ark of the Covenant. There is a theory that suggests the Ark was concealed in a chamber under the Temple Mount in Jerusalem prior to the destruction of the first temple by the Babylonians. The Ark of the Covenant is said to have been carried to Ethiopia by Menelik, who was the son of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, according to mythology. It is believed by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church that the Ark is maintained at the Church of Street Mario Zion, which is located in Axum. There is also the possibility that the Ark was concealed and buried atop Mount Nebo by the prophet Jeremiah in order to protect it from being taken by invaders. There are also tales that claim the Ark was hidden away in a cave that was very far away or buried someplace that no one knows about today, and that it was waiting to be discovered again. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the ages. If you found this exploration intriguing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more journeys into the realms of history, culture, and mystery.